channel. Yes, today is Thursday, and Happy New Year's there whenever you celebrate it. Hey, if you don't, oh well. But for our first video of New Year's, we'll have to listen to the good old caricature. But let's start greetings before we get all topsy-turvy. Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm your host here.
Guy in the chair.
He said it! He said it!
And yes, today we'll be listening to the critical drinker thinks of what he thinks of Supergirl. It looks like an overhyped Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But we'll find out what he says. So enjoy.
This movie is a wacky, irreverent adventure about a dysfunctional, loose cannon protagonist with a love of dancing and 1980s pop music who uses snarky humor to mask their inner pain and turmoil. They're not your typical superhero, that's for sure. But when they get embroiled in a world-ending conflict, they're forced to team up with a group of likable misfits. They're not your typical superhero team, that's for sure. Our gang have to learn to put aside their differences and work together to save the day, and along the way, our main character finds a new surrogate family in this crazy group of outcasts, and learns that sometimes the real heroes are the friends we make along the way. This isn't your typical superhero movie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting how a movie that was, officially at least, neither written nor directed by James Gunn is somehow shaping up to be the most James Gunn movie that ever James Gunned. I don't know how else to say it, but the trailer that just got released yesterday is basically a comprehensive checklist of every tired, played-out James Gunn cliche from every superhero movie he's ever made. There's the dog to kick things off, because there's always a dog in a James Gunn movie, because everyone knows that putting a cute furry animal in your movie is pretty much the quickest and laziest way of speedrunning your way to audience sympathies. We've got the obnoxious use of 1980s pop songs because, by golly, James Gunn sure does love his classic pop music, which has the interesting effect of pissing me off twice, because I know the studio's gonna absolutely jump on this video the moment I play more than a second of the trailer with audio, and also because after being forced to listen to Kate Bush on repeat in Stranger Things like I was trapped in some kind of Guantanamo Bay torture session, I've developed a thorough and abiding hatred of this lazy, cringe, nostalgia-milking bullshit. It's not cool and quirky anymore, it's just fucking tired. Also, and I'm hardly a musical expert on this one, but I kinda have to question the song choice here. Call Me by Blondie was written for American Gigolo, a movie about a male prostitute. What the dickens could they be hinting at here? Anyway, it's time to introduce our main character, Kara. She's not your typical superhero though. She's a drunken, cynical, messed up party girl who likes to cut loose and do her own thing. She's definitely not here to live up to your expectations, that's for sure.
Girls get it done.
She's played by Millie Alcock, who turned in a great performance in House of the Dragon, and I'm sure she's going to do her best here. I mean, she's not exactly statuesque like I'd imagine Supergirl to be, but whatever. It's not like we'd expect her to do crazy stuff like work out in a gym or anything, but she looks fine as the drunk, out-of-control party girl who's going through a midlife crisis at 23 for some reason. Oh my goodness, it must be such a drag to be young and hot and superpowered. Can't imagine how you cope with it. Quirky, pseudo-retro science fiction gags? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Because clearly when you have the ability to fly and travel through space, a bus is the natural choice for getting around. Actually, why the fuck does she even bother wearing a trench coat when she's basically immune to temperature? Oh right, that's why. Time for a fight scene, I guess. Let's assemble our group of accommodating stuntmen to get the shit kicked out of them. But don't forget to work in that snarky James Gunn humor.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Nailed it. Who even wrote this shite anyway? Anna Noguera, eh? Not exactly a screenwriter I'm familiar with, but surely she must have some pretty impressive accomplishments if she's been charged with writing a $200 million blockbuster. Let's take a quick look at her IMDb page, shall we? Oh. Oh. You know when Marvel used to hire small-time indie directors for their big-budget movies because they knew they'd be too scared and overwhelmed to do anything other than obey studio orders? I can't help but think of that right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter who wrote it, the end result is the same. I am fucking tired of these movies, man. The forced humor, the overbearing music, the desperate attempts to be edgy and different, the visual diarrhea that looks to be 90% green screen, the predictable plot points and story beats that you just know is going to be shoved into the standard James Gunn mold because that's literally the only thing he's capable of producing now.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
There's a word that keeps lurking in my mind whenever I think of James Gunn films, and that word is sincerity. Not because they actually possess it, God no, but because they're so completely lacking in it that it actually feels they're taking something away from the audience on a fundamental level. He's the movie equivalent of an insecure teenager who's so scared of being mocked and ridiculed that literally everything he says and does has to be cloaked in a protective shield of sarcasm, cynicism, and ironic humor. You can't make fun of him because he's already doing it to himself. But holy fuck, does it make for a hollow movie experience. You really can't get invested in anything or anyone in a James Gunn movie because it all feels like a setup for one big joke. And well, I think people are starting to feel it. For all Zack Snyder's faults as a storyteller, and believe me, there are many, one thing you can't accuse the guy of is insincerity. His films might be slow, bloated, self-important, dour and overly serious, but you can tell he's 100% committed to the story he's telling. And there's a kind of simplistic honesty in what he does. He's sincerely trying to show you who he is and what matters to him as a filmmaker. We even ran a poll on Open Bar a few weeks ago asking the audience if they preferred Man of Steel, a movie that's been thoroughly shit on over the years, or James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn. And the results were like 90% in favour of Man of Steel. That's not an endorsement of Man of Steel, it's an indictment of James Gunn's Superman and everything that it represents. Because when you get right down to it, I honestly think most people would choose deeply flawed sincerity over polished duplicity. What I'm trying to say with all this pretentious bullshit is that this trailer made me feel weary, somewhere deep down inside whatever passes for my soul. It's too much of everything that I'm sick of at this point, and I'm willing to bet that I'm not the only one who feels this way. God only knows what it's going to do at the box office. If Superman could barely scrape its way to $600 million worldwide, despite the longest and most obnoxiously desperate marketing campaign in history, what chance do you think this fucking derivative, tired, played out abortion of a film is gonna have? It's like if you've been at a party all night, it's 3 a.m. and you're getting ready to stagger home and pass out on your kitchen floor, and some dickhead comes in with a tray of shots and screams, "Let's get this fucking party started." No, the party's over, James. It's been over for like 5 years now. You're just too wrapped up in your own PR to realize it. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Hey guys, I thought, yeah, I heard that, and I don't know if you liked it or didn't like it, but hey, it's a James Gunn movie. So, what are we gonna do with James Gunn? He started out pretty strong with Guardians of the Galaxy and by Marvel, but now he's just on repeat, rinse and repeat. But that's my opinion. You might have a different one, but that's okay. But don't forget to like it, then comment down below, and then subscribe. But I'll leave with this right here. I hope you had an awesome night and the rest of your day goes really well. And then I'll see you in that Monday's video. Bye.